Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whatever time this specific lecture is going to reach you. Today I'm going to take you through how you can assess or fill in your logbook. Yeah. And this is majorly for students, pharmacy students in Uganda that are pursuing certificate in pharmacy and also a diploma in pharmacy. You find that a logbook is one of the requirements that enables like examiners to examine the competence of a student in different areas, and you find that the logbook is guided by the curriculum. Okay, so we have already had a lecture on this specific channel, specifically on the first part of how you can understand your book or logbook. So this is like the second part that I am going to take you through. Okay, so in the second part, you find that the book is divided in two sections. There is what we call a field preceptors section, and as we move to the next, we are also going to see other sections. Okay, so how should or what is expected of a field preceptor? How is he or she expected to fill the book? Okay, or to assess the student. Yeah, so you find that in the first lecture we have already given a hint of what they have to do and how they should do it. So before you watch this, at least first listen to the first one. Yeah, so when you come to every session of the book, leave alone the first preliminary pages that we have already looked at, you find that every page has a module unit. Okay, and that module unit is got from your curriculum. So after you have studied that specific course unit in class, you are also required to do it in the field, like check how competent you are in applying what you have studied into practice, like hands-on practice. Yeah, so this specific module where we have managed to capture is on pharmaceutical chemistry 1. So you find that this is always done in your second semester of your first year. Okay, you also have other course units. However, there are specific course units that are basically captured here. There is pharmacy practice, general pharmacy management, therapeutics is also captured in the book. Okay, the book is quite big. I am not going to take you like pick every page and discuss about it, every module unit. However, we are just going to go through how those module units are expected to be signed. Okay, so like this, I said the setting of where you are supposed to be placed can be a health center, for a hospital, or a community pharmacy, or an industry. Okay, so for this specific one, you find that you're expected to have gone to the industry. Yeah, because when we come here and look at activities, what you are expected to have done or do there, you find that they cannot be done in health center 4 unless that specific health center 4 has maybe a section for extemporaneous preparation in that facility, and of which in our country I think I know of 2 hospitals that are actually private, not for profit, that participate in extemporaneous preparation of the different medication. Okay, so you find that you have to tick where you have done that activity from and should be feasible to have been done in that specific area. Okay, that's why they have put here in brackets tick as applicable. Then what are the learning working assignment for this specific module unit? You find that you are required to carry out qualitative analysis of pharmaceuticals. Okay, so you find that a field preceptor is a person who is guiding you, who is mentoring you in these different facilities, be it a community pharmacy, be it an industry, be it a hospital, or be it a health center. What? A health center form. So you find that the name of the preceptor has to be written clearly they have to write their contact, and they also have to sign. And this is the section a preceptor has to fill in, not students to fill it in. You find that some students are even signing for preceptors, and once it is noticed or realized, that qualifies to be a forgery. And one forgery is equivalent to 100 forgeries. And with that, when we're starting the session in the first place, you find that or in the first lecture we talked about it, that the penalty for it, they put it in brackets that it is an F, okay? And they say even if they realize that you had issues and you're already in the field, they withdraw your what? Your practicing license, okay? So you have to be very careful when you're filling in these areas, or when the preceptors are filling in these areas. You find that your specific academic supervisor are required to check through these preceptors in case they are not maybe aware of how the book is filled. Most times they have so many courses, or I can say cadres, that they have to fill the books for. So you find that every cadre has its own design of the book. It's not the same, okay? And since it is not the same, you find that it is always good for the preceptor to have understood each book, the way it has been designed, and how they have to go about the scoring or awarding of the student, okay? So here we see that demonstrate ability to identify the difference in safety precautions that are individual, at industrial level. So you find that this is part of assessing or carrying out qualitative analysis of pharmaceuticals. You should be in position to identify the differences in the safety precautions that are there, because the main purpose, or the I can say the great thing that you can have in an industrial setting is to make sure that you are kept safe, or you remain safe. Yeah. So even in the hospital, your safety is a priority. That's why we encourage you to put on your clinical coats, to put on, you can maybe call it a lab coat for those who may be wondering what a clinical coat is, okay? We expect you to be on it. In case there are maybe whatever you're doing requires gloves, you are also required to do so. You're also required to always make sure that before maybe you start the counting of the medication, before you start packing, you make sure that your hands are clean. And they're always washing facilities at like every department in the hospital, just to make sure that you don't contaminate the medications that you're going to give to your clients. And because when they get contaminated, it's going to affect them, okay? Not because the medicine is not maybe right for them to use, but just because of maybe, I can say, contamination, yeah, cross contamination. And you need to really prevent that, because once they realize that, also their adherence and compliance to taking medication is going to be affected. So you find that in the previous lecture, we said that your first trial or your first initial assessment should always be done in your first weeks of assessment, okay? If you're going there for 4 weeks, your first week of assessment should be the like reflected on the first trial. Your second week of assessment should be, or maybe the middle part of the assessment, okay, should be reflected in your second trial. And then now maybe when you're almost summarizing your placement, okay, you should be in position to fill the third trial. All right, so we would not like to have, maybe if today is your first day to go for placement, and then you're already filling the first trial, or maybe you're filling the third trial on maybe that first attempt. So you find that the dates will tell us how you have messed them up, okay? Because we shall track, or we shall be guided by your daily track sheet, and that daily track sheet will enable us understand how you have been going to the field. According to the previous lecture, we said that the maximum number of hours you expected to be there in a day is 8 hours. So also that guides the person maybe assessing your book to see how long exactly you took there. Yeah, so you make sure that the preceptor writes the date for the first assessment, the second assessment, and the third assessment. So when they are scoring, you find that there is a key here for how they are supposed to score. Okay, they're supposed to give here the numbers and then the remarks. Okay, so they have to make the remarks simple in a way that if it is 1, 1 represents poor, right? If it is 2, 2 represents fair. And then if it is 3, 3 represents good. So that's how simple they are required to give in their comments. Okay, like here score you put 1, the remark is poor, and then score you put 2, the remark is fair, 3, the remark is good. Okay, just as simple as that. Like they don't have to put so many words or think of words of how to comment or give you a remark. Yeah, so you find that it is already guided here, and this section is required to be full by the preceptor, not the student. So the student should appreciate the fact that there are sections in the book that they are required to fill, and there are those sections in the book that a preceptor is the one who is supposed to fill. In case they mess it up and it is recognized, you find that it is like I was telling you at the beginning of the session, that that is equivalent to 100 forgeries. Okay, so also how do we score? We expect the scoring to be in ascending order. What do I mean? If your first trial is 1, your second trial should be a 2, and your third trial should be a what? A 3. If your first trial was a 3, your second trial should not again go to 2. I don't know, that becomes descending, right? Yeah, so you make sure that the scoring is always ascending, in ascending order, because when it is in ascending order, it shows that there was learning taking place. If you find that maybe the figures or the scoring is also constant, it really gives an impression that there was no learning that took place. For example, if my first score of in my first trial I am having 1, the second trial again I have 1, the third trial I have 1, so you find that learning didn't take place. Or some of us feel like excellent is the best word that describes us. So you find that maybe in your first score there is a 5, yeah, because 5 represents excellent. And then your second trial again there is 5, and then your third trial again is 5. So you find that everything you do, you're not always right the first time. Okay, even people who invent or who are passionate about innovation, you find that their first trial, their first assessment is always not right. Okay, there are always errors that are coming up with that because they are exploring on that new knowledge that they are thinking about. So there is always need to appreciate and put there, like, let the scoring be ascending. Don't say 4 4 4 all the, or for all the three assessments, 2 2 2. Like there should be 3 4 5, like in ascending. Not again, maybe I have a 2, the second try I'm having a 4, and then a third try I'm having a 5. So you find that it is also a bit challenging. So that is it for the part of the field preceptor. Let us look at other sections of the book. And here, the section we are having is the student section. Like I was telling you, there are 3 basic sections of the book. There is a preceptor section, and then a student section, and then academic supervisor section. So in the previous lecture, we also emphasized the different roles of these specific sections and people responsible for these specific sections. That's why I keep referring you to the first like a first video or a first lecture that we have already covered, just to keep us moving in the same pace, yeah, so that you're not left behind. Yeah? Okay, so now what do you write under key areas? What do you write under procedures observed being done? What do you write under activities performed? What do you write under lessons learned? And then what suggestions or recommendations can you give? So we are going to use this specific module unit, and that is from Pharmaceutical Chemistry 1, just to give us an idea of what we need to fill where, how to fill what. Okay, so on the key areas, on the key result areas, we always encourage our students to write just like when you look at the learning work assignment, we always prefer if you could write and say, carry out qualitative analysis of pharmaceuticals as your key area here. You say carried out quality or qualitative analysis of pharmaceuticals. Then you come to the next session. What are those tasks that you observed? You didn't do them, because every module unit there are at least some tasks that you were just observing, maybe because the apparatus there are few, or maybe because there are people in that area feel like maybe you will misuse the apparatus, and maybe repairing it in case you have misused it, it's going to be a big challenge. For example, when we look at this specific session, there is a last one where it even clearly tells you observe analytical, qualitative tests exclusively performed at industrial level. For example, high performance liquid chromatography. Okay, so you find that here you have to put it as what you observed, because even your book is guiding you to just observe it, not to perform. You're not going to put it under activities done. You get it? Yeah. So here in for like tasks or procedures observed being done, you just put that last bit of it. You say, I observed observed analytical qualitative tests exclusively performed at industrial level. And then you find that there are others that you got in that industry, you put them, not necessarily the high performance liquid chromatography. Some maybe industries may not be having it, but just include in what was present. Okay, so that in case they have to follow up with the industry, what apparatus they have, you are not caught off guard just because the book has it. Then what about activities performed or done? So you find that these other ones are talking about demonstratability. So this one is like directing you to do it. Okay, from the word demonstratability, it is asking you to do that part or that activity. You can say maybe a demonstrated ability to identify the different safety precautions at industrial level. Demonstrated ability, like you're writing it in past tense. It should not be in present tense, because you're feeling this after you have done them. Yeah, so that's why I keep using the past tense. What about lessons learned? Okay, how do you write lessons learned? Some of us come and say, I learned how to carry out qualitative analysis of pharmaceuticals. You find that that's a bit plain. Okay, so there should be something that shows that learning took place. Okay, maybe if they're asking you to demonstrate ability to practice industrial safety precautions, you can talk about the safety precautions that you got there. Okay, and it will show that you learned how to do that there, because there are different safety precautions that are maybe that are put in different industries, different facilities that you're going to be placed. For example, if I want to describe what I have learned from demonstrate ability to practice industrial safety precautions, I can say I have learned that I have to protect myself. Maybe when compounding, I have learned that I should avoid cross contamination of maybe my hair to the products I am manufacturing. You get the point, eh? So that shows that you like learning took place. If you need to like appreciate these safety precautions, What's the reason behind it? What is the hidden agenda behind it? So that hidden agenda behind it is like what you really learned and appreciated, that this is required for me to do because of this and this. For example, I can say when we're in for COVID, we were told to wash hands, okay? But now, if you, like, what did you learn from washing hands? What is it that you learned? Is it how to wash the hands, the procedure of washing the hands, or exactly you appreciated why you needed to wash the hands? Okay, you find that you were washing the hands maybe you're sanitizing the hands to make sure that you like, maybe you don't have I can say germs in a layman's understanding, like you are killing the germs because you're using the detergent, you're using the soap, microorganisms, you're killing so many things, okay, that would expose you to these specific risks of getting COVID-19. So also when we ask you to rate what you have learned, tell us exactly what was the essence of making sure that you are following safety precautions. I have learned that when I follow safety precautions, I am able maybe to perform a specific procedure, or maybe I am able to make sure that like you put something. I don't know how to really clearly bring that out, but I hope you guys can understand me. And in case you have any questions on lessons learned, kindly put them in the comment section. I am always ready and prepared to handle them, and we move together as a team. Okay, then what are the recommendations? What are the gaps that you got in practice that you need to give suggestions on? Okay, so in case you identified any gap suggestion, you can suggest. Maybe your numbers in that facility were many and most people could not really do hands-on. You can also suggest that maybe you should have a long period or a long duration for field placement so that everyone has a chance. Or maybe you can suggest that you may like always come in groups, something like that. Okay, I'm not necessarily talking about this and then you have to, all of you put the same suggestion in the book. It depends on what you have really seen happening and what you're required to write. Okay, then what about academic? Thank you so much. We are done with the student section. I want us to switch our minds to academic supervisor section. Okay, so academic supervisor section, you can look at the way it is showing remarks, and in that remarks, what exactly was the strength of the student? And you can get the strength of the student from the lessons that they learned. Okay, what were the weaknesses the student faced? It is not like when you put weaknesses, it's like the student is going to fail. It guides a student, or it guides maybe the person assessing the book to know that what areas did a student maybe didn't do well, and then what are the recommendations that you as a supervisor, and was there any improvement? Did the student improve with time? Okay, yeah, so this is actually the same as the last and we see that it gives the name at the end, the name of the academic supervisor, the contact, their signatures, and the date that they signed that. All right, so this is all about how to fill the different sections of the logbook. Thank you so much. I want us to take a break and then we come back to fill the preliminary pages of the logbook. Okay, so yeah, we are left with one lecture just to finish the preliminary pages that you find in the logbook, because most times that is where most questions come from. So let us address them, and we be in position to be at the same pace. Okay, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for tuning into Graphom Academy. Kindly subscribe to this channel, like and share content in this specific channel. I wish you all the best. Keep tuned to Graphom Academy. We love you all. We are here because of you. We are here because you are there. So keep tuned.